The Museum of Latin American Art, also known as MOLAA, M-O-L-A-A, is an institution, a nonprofit institution, fine arts museum located in Long Beach, California. Our mission is to focus on exhibiting, collecting, and sharing with our audiences art from Latin America, as well as from Latinos, Latinas, Latinx individuals in the US. My name is Solimar Salas. I also go by Soli, and I am the Vice President for Content Innovation and Outreach at the Museum of Latin American Art. A museum, even if it's a not-for-profit, does have an element of business continuity in order for us to keep providing services to our community. When the COVID pandemic started in March of 2020, we immediately started looking for tools that we could use to allow our team, as they went on remote work, to actually be effective on their remote work. And one of those components was having a cloud service provider that would allow us to put our servers and all our files and all our working documents up on a cloud that we could all access from wherever we were. IronOrbit came in to provide us with solutions that were efficient and effective for us. And also, in our case, looking at the budget is a very important element to any decision that we made. And at that time, they were able to accommodate all of our needs, as well as keep in mind how to be cost effective for a nonprofit institution to actually use this kind of service. It's been such a seamless transition that I can't tell you there's a tangible difference. You notice a difference when you have to go off-site for whatever reason. You have a conference in DC, or you have a seminar in LA, but you still need to connect. You still need access to your files. It's a lot more efficient to just be able to log into the remote server and access that. It creates a sense of trust as well, because we do have a backup agreement built into the remote desktop system. And that's something that at least we know we can access whenever there's a situation that happens with our files, which is something that in the past, we didn't have such a clear understanding of how the backups were implemented. So I think that also creates a sense of comfort in terms of, again, business continuity. And after the pandemic, we've learned that we know nothing. So that we always need to be thinking of the worst case scenario to ensure that business continuity. And backups are also really important. So I think in that case, just having that backup system in place is really useful for us. But this is a Patsy Valdez artwork, and she loved it specifically for this exhibition. I think the colors are really bright. The really fantastic thing about the exhibition in Guadalupe, and this is chapter 1, so we're doing multiple chapters on this topic, it's that we're looking at the Guadalupe representation, not just as in its religious iconography, but also what it means for society, for the community. It's a symbol of strength, it's a symbol of motherhood, it's a symbol of unity. So it's part of what we really appreciate about this artwork. Having access as the administrator, having access to all of our users, to all of the structures and all the licensing that we work with through IronOrbit. When using the iOS Central web portal, it's very practical for me because I'm able to keep tabs on and do auditing on how many users do I have, which user has which license active. Maybe there's a user that's no longer with the company and I can clean that up. And having access to that without having to submit a ticket and wait for somebody on the other end to get back to me. Oh, here's a list of all your users for the remote desktop or the Infinity desktop setup. This is a list of your users for the Microsoft Office 365 licenses. This is a list of the Duo security service. Everything's in one place. And the fact that I have access to see how many users are under which license and who's using what allows me to keep tabs and also monitor the expenses from the side of the company, the museum. I work a lot with every department from the communication standpoint. So we're always either working with curatorial for any exhibition that's coming up. We're working with education to promote the programming that they have coming up too. My department's also supervising the store, which is one of the retail components at MOLAA, one of the revenue generators. We're also thinking of new items that we can have at the store that are also related and based in the exhibition so that the users and the visitors can take something of the exhibition with them when they leave MOLAA because they can't take the artwork. And we're also working with development as well in all those fundraising initiatives. How do we support? How does technology build into that support system? What can we do to make all of our jobs a little bit easier, run a little bit smoother? And that's more from the innovation, the technology standpoint. It's how do we use technology as a tool to make sure that we're providing the best experience for our visitor, but also the best experience for the team in enjoying what they do and enjoying their job. So for our team members, usability of the desktop, remote desktop feature is very easy because it looks like just another desktop. And we have access to all the programs, we have access to all the services that we need through that. The IronOrbit team was very responsive to all the questions our users had. How do I click? Where do I click? How do I access? I can't see my files. So a lot of the adjustments of permissions and who has access to what within the cloud, all of those issues were very much promptly addressed. I think in a matter of weeks, we were very close to 99.9% regular, business as usual in terms of work. I appreciate the response time whenever I have an issue that's going on. The entire response or tech support team is great. Every company, every system has very particular needs and situations. Even though they will all be with the same cloud service provider, everybody's got different permission structures, everybody's got different user structures. So having that comfort in the tech team that they will be able to step in and very efficiently address those needs. I think for me, that's one of the things I appreciate the most about IronOrbit. For us, it was really inspiring to see how quickly the IronOrbit team was able to accommodate our requests, our needs, and get us up and going as quickly as possible. So we barely at that point in time had a minimal interruption of service when rethinking how we were going to keep offering services to the public. And having those documents available in the cloud server allowed us to keep generating that educational content, that exhibition content that then allowed us to branch out and expand our online presence through our website, the YouTube channel. But having access to our core documents and being able to share and update, that definitely needed to happen in order for us to keep on going and keep in touch with our community, even from home. Well, another way that we use tech around the museum. So this was a donated monitor that we received, and this has become really important for our tours and workshops because we can provide a layout of what Latin America is. So you give context for the ethnicities, for the nationalities of the artists that we represent. For any company, any individual that's looking for new ways in which technology can help them improve, enhance, build some progress and growth into their goals, looking at IronOrbit as a provider of solutions is something that's very, very advisable and smart and productive because you want somebody that you can rely on and that can give you solutions that won't leave you hanging when you need them the most. And I think that's key into any partner that you're looking into when you're working to make your business grow. IronOrbit has been that for us in the last few years. We're looking forward to continue that partnership. So that gives MOLAA that room to grow as we continue to try and serve not just our local community, but those that live beyond our geographic boundaries.